What up? What up? What up? This
What
is
up?
post week 2. This week I got Adam, I got Taylor, and hell yeah, what's up, guys? How you guys feeling tonight?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Ready to,
Feeling good.
get this thing going.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, that's what I want to hear. So, Taylor, I'm gonna talk to you first, man. I'm just gonna tell you I'm not gonna roast you. I'm glad to have you on. Obviously, obviously, bro, 0-2 is not the start that you were predicting for yourself, but tell me on like a macro, on like a big picture scale, what is it that gives you strength to wake up and try to win every day, one day at a time?
Yeah. Well, it's been a slow start, needless to say. My points scored kind of tells that whole picture. I felt really good about my draft. Obviously, I was, wasted in San Diego running around talking about the best draft ever.
I really
I feel
didn't see
really
this
good.
coming
I
after
do.
that draft.
I do. I know. I kind of cursed myself, I think, but I definitely feel good about it. You know what I mean? I think I made some good moves. I think I like my, I took some shots and some veteran wide receivers kind of late, and I think they're going to pan out over time. I think it's been a slow start. I mean, that second game, if I just played Mostert, I would have been, but I just went with the matchup. I thought the Patriots were going to, I didn't think they'd gash the Patriots like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's some homerific homerism for sure. But
Dude, it's fair, man.
it's one pick. There's a reason why I always, wanted to have less bench spots, and it's not only because I think it's more competitive and I like there being more waiver wire issues. It's like I want to limit myself from having too many decisions, which is because there's nothing worse than making the wrong play and losing because of it, which is what happened. I mean, if I'd have played Mostert, I would have won. And
Dude.
That's frustrating. So to leave 35 points in the bench always hurts. I had other guys too that definitely would have put up more. I mean, I picked the wrong guys altogether. But that being said, it's a slow start. 0-2 sucks. And it's kind of a must win. I gotta get this thing. I gotta right the ship quick and get to 500 sooner than later.
Well,
I'm going to get sniped this week, so that's not what
I was gonna say.
But...
Yeah, your week 3 opponent sitting right over there. But I mean, dude, to your point, bad decisions, but like whatever. I mean, when you look at your squad, you got Saquon Barkley, probably won't be out that much. Travis Etienne, Mostert, Breece Hall. I mean, for running backs, it's not bad, dude. It's not bad. Like you got Hurts and Kittle, so like a top QB, a top tight end. You could turn this thing around, man. Anybody you regret drafting though?
No, I mean, I don't. Like, I feel like my bench is really strong, I have guys in my bench that might not get much playing time that, in other leagues might be a starter. You know what I mean? I think,
yeah,
Romeo Dobbs, like I drafted him late. He's, been a favorite target of Jordan Love so far, Algier. I mean, I think Atlanta, Algier I think Bijan Robinson obviously is showing why he was picked so early, and I think he's really explosive. I think he's going to be on an awesome back, but that offense is just so run centric that Algier could have some good weeks along with Bijan Robinson, and I think he's a great handcuff. So I mean, after that first game, I guess I was, it's like, oh, this Sky Moore, maybe that was but I mean, that's like a late receiver flyer on a young receiver. I'm not going to like regret that too much.
If it hits, you're a genius. And then when it doesn't, you're like, oh, fuck, I mean, it's
it was a
classic.
late round receiver flyer, and he came back in the second game, and he put up like 16 points. You know what I mean? So he's I'm not mad at any of my draft picks. I'm really not. I'm really happy with Pittman. I think Pittman. I mean, I was, Lopez gave me a ride to LA, and God, he was criticizing the Pittman thing the whole fucking way, telling me, Michael Thomas, you should have picked Deontay Johnson, just like going off about how my receivers were terrible. And I feel really good. I think Pittman's going to get a lot of volume. I think that Richardson's better than a lot of people were giving him credit for. I mean, hopefully he can, slide and not get himself concussed. But he's kind of dynamic. I don't know why they're so fucking give Jonathan Taylor some money and actually try to make a run at it because their team's not that bad. So I like Pittman. I think Michael Thomas, was a little bit of a flyer, but I think he's going to get volume. I think Derek Carr is going to throw him the ball on 8 to 10 yard patterns all day long, and he's got great hands. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, McLaurin in Washington might be the only one I would say that I'm a little like, I kind of reached on him. There was some other wide receivers at that position that
sure.
maybe would have been a little bit better, because I think that Washington, with Bieniemy running that offense, they're doing a lot of new stuff, and he's not just the archetypical number one. I mean, they got Jahan Dotson there. They got some other guys that are. The jury's out on McLaurin, but I've always liked McLaurin. I've had McLaurin on my team a bunch of times, and I just like the guy, and I think that Washington team's gonna be throwing the shit out of the ball, a lot. So,
Sure.
I feel really good. It's just 0-2 kind of sucks. So I don't know. I haven't scored many points, so I don't know.
Is that why you left like 96 points on the bench in the first week, because you owed Jaime for that ride to LA or something? What was that all about? Because I think that's really the question. Last week wasn't even that bad. Jesus Christ, dude. That must have hurt.
Wow.
I mean, dude, Breece Hall, it's hard to say, man. Like, again, I started my starters. I started the guys because Travis Kelce went out, I thought the Sky Moore play was a decent play. You know what I mean? That obviously didn't happen, and it was a total fuck up. I didn't start Breece Hall because they'd signed Dalvin Cook, and I didn't know what that was going to look like. You know what I mean? So I was just hesitant to start him. Other than that, I played my starters. I went with my starters. I went with the guys that were there.
Hey,
I didn't
this
know
is something
Algier,
to be optimistic
I didn't know
about.
Algier was going to have 30 points. You know what I mean? Like, he's the backup.
Yeah.
I didn't think Algier was going to have fucking 30 points. I didn't think Breece Hall was going to have 25 points on fucking 10 carries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Didn't know Romeo Dobbs, my 12th pick or whatever the fuck I picked him, was going to score 18 for the Packers. No idea. So yeah, definitely got smoked.
I mean, I'll tell you what, dude, the championship's not won in the first 2 weeks. Who the fuck knows? It's going to be a long season. Dude, I'm going to switch this line of questioning over to Adam now.
Fuck.
Adam, okay, I got a word for you and what your squad pulled off in week 2. It's a waiver wire wizardry. So, I mean, you started these guys in week 2. Zach Moss, Nico Collins, Rashid Shaheed, Chuba Hubbard. That's almost 80 points between those guys. Going into this matchup with victory formation, how confident did you feel?
Oh, not confident at all. His fucking flexes are better than my starting wide receivers. So a little bit worried, for sure. And after even with my bench, I think my squad barely hit 100 last week. So not feeling great, to be honest.
But, I mean, yeah, week 1, your lineup didn't look like it had a lot of depth. I mean, there's some people that had pegged you as potentially having the worst draft, but yet in week 2, you put up 181 points, and all of a sudden you look like a playoff team. I mean, but props. I mean, fantasy is week to week. I mean, basically any of us could stack a few W's early on once in a while, but you just go late season, have a relatively healthy team. I mean, any of us could be contenders.
I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I went with a different strategy than normal. It was compounded by losing. I think I had 4 players out in the first week as well. And I think my first 3 rounds of picks were injured. Even last week, they kind of were barely back. The Zach Moss waiver wire, that wasn't even on the waiver wire. I caught him as a free agent after the fact, which our waiver did not do well. So that's Puka and Zach Moss maybe was a little bit more questionable. But yeah, it did not look good. It did not look good fast. The Amari Cooper experiment, what the fuck is going on with Deshaun Hopkins?
Watson,
sorry. $222 million?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he looked pretty solid in the preseason. I think it's still early. They're going to be throwing the ball, especially with Chubb out. I think it's still early to say Cooper was a bust.
No, I think he'll be all right, but
I was
think
definitely
Cooper's
not feeling
the
great
volume.
about it. I mean, he's getting the volume now. Deshaun Watson's going to force him the ball. For Deshaun Watson's going to complete 50% of his passes and take a bunch of sacks because he doesn't seem like he can read the offense, which is just limiting, what could be. I think that Cooper's not, God, Nico Collins, that guy's been on the cusp of being amazing for a while. We'll see if CJ Stroud's going to keep up what he's been doing, because he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad for a rookie at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a heavy wide receiver, pretty much 0 RB. I kind of slept in the first 2 rounds, and I bet on Amari Cooper. Yeah, it was. I was betting on Amari Cooper though, and then I really thought Christian Watson was going to be my explosive play, who obviously hasn't even played yet. So I still feel pretty good. I like the Rashid Shaheed pickup a lot. I guess I didn't even notice the kick return, punt return addition. I guess I forgot about that last year. So that's a strategy that really buffers a few players. And then I'm like fishing for, I hate to say it, but fishing for injuries, because I've got like second stringers across the board on my bench. And missed the first lotto. Congratulations, Chris Hill. I feel bad for Nick Chubb.
Dude, how did Chris see that? Did he know the future? I mean, he picked him up on the 12th. Like, this was a week before the Chubb injury. What the fuck?
I mean, I think he's just taking backups. Like, and by the way, the jury's out. Like, I love everyone that's like quoting like, "Oh, Stefanski said he's going to be the number 1 back." It's like they just signed Kareem Hunt. Like, Kareem Hunt's 28. Like, yeah, he didn't have a great season last year, but he also like didn't get more than 10 carries. Like, more than 10 carries in one of his final 12 games. Like, he wasn't being used. They like leaned on Chubb. And
Greg and Justin must be very happy right now with that late round draft pick.
Yeah, that's I feel like they focus. So I think the jury's out on if this kid Ford's gonna, be the definitive whatever. And I don't know, the Browns, like, to me, like, I think that
there's some question marks on that offense.
Yeah, like I'm not, I mean, there's, in my other league, somebody bid like $90 for like the Ford guy, and I was like, whoa, like that's
talk about really, blowing your load.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, so I think everybody's triggered from that Puka week last week, and they're like, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, I mean, this Puka guy is fucking awesome, but I mean, again, it's 2 games in. You know what I mean? It's overreaction central, like left and right, and it's a long season, so we'll see what happens.
So I'm gonna pivot because I'm gonna do my fucking lightning 5 right now. So 5. All right. Hold your ball sacks. It might get struck by lightning. This is week 2, lightning 5.
Lightning 5.
Lightning
5. Yeah.
Number 5. Shane beats Bunis and Tim by a narrow margin, 3 points. It came down to Monday Night Football. Bunis and Tim got 10 points from Miles Sanders. They just needed 4 more, and they could not get it. Number 4. Ryan's team goes off like a roadside bomb, 186 points, high points for the week. His roster hits on every fucking cylinder. You probably saw the standings. He's number 1 in the league right now. Number 3. Greg and Justin win by 6 points against Hova. Chris left winning points on the bench. Kyron Williams, 32. Jay Ford, 32. Pacheco, 11. But what's got to hurt is he put in Smith and Jigba, Calvin Austin, who got 3 and 8. This is just a classic example where you can't blame luck sometimes. You just have to look at yourself and be like, fuck, I fucked it up. Fucking sorry, Hova. You almost fucking beat them. All right. Number 2, Adam plays the waiver wire like a fucking violin. Zach Moss, fucking Nico Collins, Rashid Shaheed, they combine for 71. He murders Justin behind a symphony of brilliance, 181 to 149. But number 1, Jamie has Nick Chubb blow out his fucking knee. He loses his number 1 overall pick for the season.
Brutal.
You got anything I'm missing here, fellas?
No, I mean, those are all
kind of sums it up.
Yeah, I mean, it sums it up. Those were the key moments in the league this week.
Camp's team is potentially terrifying.
Yeah, and I didn't, his one of those teams where it's like you look at the draft and you're like, okay, there's some strength there, but I'm not totally sold on everything. And then you're like, oh wow, that's powerful. Tua,
yeah.
Tua. Okay.
I mean, is it just matchups? Is like, like certain.
Hey, we don't know if Swift didn't have a good week 1, and he looked great week 2. But you don't know what that Philly run game. That's still a 3-headed monster. There's going to be games Swift doesn't have a great game. He also might get injured. You never know. Drake London, like Atlanta, like I don't see. Like he got a touchdown last week. I don't see Drake London having, putting up double digits every week. He's going to have some off weeks where Atlanta struggles, or they're just going to run the shit out of the ball, and they're going to play a good defense. He's like, yeah, we could take their one wide receiver out and make sure they have to run it.
There's a lot of sleeping giants, though. It's definitely developing. Just like Hova had a lot of points on his bench, just like Taylor had a lot of points on his bench. That means if he gets that right, that's going to be a nasty week for anybody. So
no doubt.
It's developing nicely.
No doubt. I like it. I think there's a lot of parity right now. I don't know that we really have a team that's the worst. The teams that we're saying are the best, they could have some weak points. Still a lot to figure out. Adam, I got something for you that do you think everyone really understands that you built a Discord page for this league? Like,
No.
So like, I mean, I've gone a few times and added some videos for like the trophy ceremony, league history, scoring matchups, shit that like data that dates back to 2014. If anybody just wanted to look up some random shit, some stats, like who got 3rd place in 2015, all of it is in there. I think it's dope. I mean, if I wasn't so fucking busy, I'd probably keep getting all that shit out there and like trying to use it more, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like this digital commercial building for the league.
Yeah, it's just a nice little repository, and it has like a little chat room in there. We could post like pictures and stuff like that. It's just a nice kind of central record place. It might be more convenient. There is an app that you can use on your phone, and then you can have like all the time like voice chat rooms that are just always on that you can like pop in and pop out. I think Shane and I are gonna try to get on there like during the games this weekend, if drink a beer or something like that, if anybody's interested. But yeah, it's always there.
That's dope.
No
So it's
pressure.
not recorded. It's just like you could just jump in, just start talking some shit, and it's just that's what it is.
No calls, no rooms, no setup. It's easy. Pop in, pop out.
Kind of like that.
I remember you talking about it, Stipe. I didn't know you actually built it, and it's there. So I'm gonna go check it out.
I'm not gonna lie, I had nothing to do all weekend. I just got really high, and then it happened.
That's dope. I just know, like, my experience with Discord is that there's a little bit of a learning curve to kind of like navigating the site. It's kind of dense, and it's very like, video game streamer nerd guys that like use it. You know what I mean? That's the only time I've ever not gone on there. Is like be like, oh, what's this? This thing that I want to watch. That's whatever. And I just remember it was like I struggled initially to be like, where do I go to like do what I want to do? It was a little bit of
a learning curve.
Well, what I like is it's like everything could be in there. Like you're sitting at the bar talking to somebody and you're like, wait, you guys did a fucking trophy ceremony? And you're like, yeah, hold up. It's right here. Like, and you're like, or like this shit happened. You guys had a video of Scott Hansen announce your fucking season. Like what? And it's just like anybody can just pull any of this shit out at any time.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I think the more content that's on there is the more reason to go check it out. You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't, both Sundays, I haven't actually been able to just like sit down and by myself, like watch the games. I had an event last Sunday, and before I was like with the family doing all this weird shit for opening day. So I'll definitely, this Sunday, I'm just going to be chilling. So I'm going to, I'll definitely go on there and check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, fuck. I think I am too. I'm going to have to see what kind of shit's being said.
Where are you going to be this Sunday, Kevin?
Where am I going to be? Like, fuck. Yeah, I've been gone a lot, but I'm actually going to be home and hopefully just fucking watching TV, but I don't have a fucking package. Like, I might have to stream shit. Like I don't have the Sunday ticket. Like, I mean.
I just watch Red Zone.
Red Zone, yeah.
I pick whatever, I mean, I pick usually there's a Patriots game on because I'm living in Connecticut, so I can, watch my team. That's why that's why I just watch Red Zone, and then I'll flip to a game if I really want to watch it. But when I don't have a team in the race, I just watch Red Zone. Or when the Patriots are terrible, I just watch Red Zone.
That's
I have a
fair.
little service from Canada. It's like $25 a month or something like that.
What do you get? Do you get like all the games basically?
Yeah.
Nice.
Pay-per-views. If you want me to send it to you, let me know.
Dude, yes, please. Yeah, I gotta see this shit.
Are we gonna get anyone to pick the winners of the league? It doesn't seem like that's gonna take off, huh?
Dude, I mean, the three of us are the only ones who've done it. It hasn't really like, I don't know. It's another thing that we're trying to move. It's just not happening.
I thought it would be a fun thing at low stakes, and a reason why. Because I mean, the one thing that we went away from by raising the buy-in this high is that there was like enough pushback that like, okay, we're gonna raise it to $500. Like, we don't need to like charge people for actual like transactions, and we're we're not building the pot up. And there was something fun to like a little bit of giveaways. I mean, it drove me crazy like to be like, oh great, it's like I won $30 this week, whatever. But that's where I thought like, okay, like that fun aspect of like, okay, there's a weekly winner, and then there's gonna be a season long winner, and there's gonna be some money for like the draft house and gambling. But it doesn't seem that like anyone else is into it. I mean, I don't know, people aren't looking at their WhatsApp or something. Like, it's like we all have smartphones.
Yeah.
You get the notification that people are betting. Like,
I tell you what, I got both your guys' money. I think none of it counts yet until there's been like, I say minimum 4 people. And when we get I'm just gonna keep putting my picks in there every week until somebody's like, you know what, fuck it, I'll put some more picks in there. And maybe we're like, oh shit, this is a live week. And I don't know.
I just forgot last weekend. Yeah, I'll pop the picks on there. We can just keep going. I mean, we can.
I just trolled you last week. I just like switched my one, and then I picked the same one point lower. I was at work, and I was.
I didn't know if you did that on purpose.
I didn't know. I did it on purpose. I didn't have time. I was like at work. I was bartending, and I was like slammed, and I was like, all I could do was like, I'll just pick the same picks with 1 point lower quickly. Just to do it.
Dude. I mean, shit, it was close. I mean, I beat you by 1 pick, Taylor.
Yeah, the one that I made. I picked myself.
Yeah. Exactly. It's you and me. Yeah. Well, shit. I mean, you guys play each other this week. It should be interesting. Let's see. Taylor, you need this win, man.
I do, man. I do. I don't want to be 0-3 in the league. I mean, it's just brutal, it's like I could have won both games if I had a different lineup in, which is really frustrating. So,
fucking A. Fucking A. Any given Sunday, though.
That's on me as the manager. I picked up the Chiefs defense because I feel like anybody playing Chicago is the best matchup at this point. It seems like they're imploding. We'll see though. But Justin Fields might have
I saw that interview with Fields, and he was putting his coaches on blast for how they've been like telling him to sit in the pocket, and he's pretty much like, do you guys see that?
You don't see that often, like just
coaching. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he basically was like, you know what? I'm not sitting in the pocket. From here on out, I'm doing what makes me a football player. So who knows? Maybe he goes off and starts scrambling for 200 yards.
And that's all I'm really asking for. I'm not looking for his personal development. I feel bad for the kid, but like I just don't think he's a great quarterback all around. Just let him run around, get me like 60 yards on the ground per week, 150 yards passing, a touchdown running, touchdown passing.
There you go.
I'll be happy as a clam. But when he's like the lowest scoring position player on your team, it's like, what is going on here? 40 yards rushing last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like looking at my bench, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm playing my core guys that I need to play with the best matchups. About who knows? Maybe Reynolds is going to go off. Maybe Dobbs is going to go off. I don't know. Hopefully, I get it right one of these times. Just got to keep grinding. And
here's a segue into a topic that I want to bring up because after finding out that the FAB budget, you can include money in a trade. If somebody blows all their entire load on waivers in week 2, but you need to get money back, I mean, you can move guys to get money. I mean, that's interesting. I didn't realize that was going to be a thing. And Then it brought up the whole rolling over to next year, which seemed like, okay, there could be some strategy there, but then all of a sudden everyone shat on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why people don't want free agent waiver money to roll over. I mean, it's such a long-term play.
I mean,
with
yeah.
trades, like for you to be able to stack money, it's like we're playing in a league. It's not a dynasty league, but I mean, we have keepers. There's the same guys going every year. We trade. There's a huge round of trading where people have keepers, they trade keepers, things like that. Like, I don't understand why. If you're saying fuck, I've lost 5 games. I'm out. I'm not going to make any more waiver moves, and I'm going to save my money. So next year, I've got more money, and then you can attack the waiver wire harder. I mean, I guess there's guys. I mean, I could see the side of it being like, oh, this guy's been saving all his waiver money for 3 years, and now this year he's just going to get everybody. And it's like,
well, I said no. I said no myself. I haven't talked to any of the other dudes who also said no. But for me personally, I just feel like it's kind of like a mixing of the philosophies. Like, I feel like we already have quite a bit of bleed over potential from one season to the next, and I think it ruins the freshness of each season. And like, we keep making a lot of moves, and I think some of them have added a lot of interesting plays to the league. But I do think that it starts impeding on that territory of like a dynasty league or something like that. Whereas like each year, I'd like to feel that I have a chance to come back and win every year without having to like tank. I feel like I should be able to play the best I play this year. And then next year it's like a blank slate. And then we have some mixes or bleedings from like keepers and some of the trades we're capable of doing. But I just think I voted no off the top of my head because I just felt like it was another thing. Like, let's maybe put a maximum on the amount that you can bring from one year to the next or something like that.
I was just going to say that I think that you should put a cap on like how much money you can accumulate. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't like, if I'm trying to like sell, a bunch of guys to accumulate free agent money, but I mean, then again, like, I mean, are you really gonna win your league based on just how much? Like, I can bid $100 every week on anybody I want.
Yes.
Like,
I think if you're somebody who doesn't make good decisions, if you're gonna put $100 on Ford when he in week 2. And you got 200 more for the season, like, you're just maybe not a good decision maker, and having all that extra money it isn't going to help you. Like, you still have to make good decisions, and if you have a ton of money rolled over from the year before, you still have to have a good draft. Like, that's not going to save you if you had a shitty draft. It's just going to help you win a few extra games because now you got a little more ammo in the tank to pick up the leftovers. Like,
yeah, I mean, like,
I
like that because you can trade FAB money, then I like that it should roll over. That's why I think it should roll over. If it was just like, I didn't spend it, so now I get it for the next season, I'm like, well, whatever. If you didn't spend it, then you're a pussy. Spend your money. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that I could like trade somebody for $50 of FAB money, then yeah, like, I think that like I should be able to keep that money because I did it in a trade. I traded a keeper for $100. You know what I mean? I want my $100 next year when I can use it, because it's the end of the season. You know what I mean? So maybe there should be a cap on how much money you can actually have in your FAB account. So, no more than 3 times what the starting value is or something. So it just doesn't get out of control. And I have $1,000 to everyone else's $150.
I guess part of my point too is that, like, I see what you're saying. If your season sucks and you want to tank it and mortgage for the future, I totally get that. But I don't feel like those are the only people that are going to be rewarded from the system. Like, the better your team is, and like, hypothetically, if you've like traded a bunch and you got a bunch of good picks and you don't need to pick up anybody on the waivers, you're going to have some rolling over regularly, like a higher than normal average every year. And I just feel like I don't want to be at this point sometime where like one dude had this great year like 6 years ago, and from that he's been living like this largesse, and it's been trickling into every single season afterwards. And I just think that like, you should balance that somehow.
Yeah, we can never. I will agree with that. We can never have it like the New York Yankees. There does need to be a cap. In that scenario, I think that totally makes sense. I also think that our league is sort of set up too that like it'd be pretty rare, even if you're not making the playoffs, to not want to spend at the end. Because I mean, if you're like, oh, I'm going to take last place punishment because I want to save my money. Or, I mean, I would say if I'm in the playoffs, I'm spending everything. I'm trying to win. Like why would you be like, I'll take fifth place so I have a little extra money? Like,
last place punishment is what? Like, undetermined and I can buy my way out of it because I'm a rich guy. Like, I don't know. I don't think anyone's fearing last place punishment because it's like, do they even have to do it? I don't know.
Imagine this. So imagine because Jamie managed to pull off getting quite a bit of high picks this year from a lot of good trades that he made, including raping me. But imagine this rule was active last year and he also accumulated a shit ton of FAB money. And then as soon as his team started to have an injury or anything, he could just literally outbid the entire league at any point and get whatever picks he wanted, that first week. He'd be unbeatable from last year. And I think that's the potential.
I think Steph's got a good point. I think a byproduct of this auction waiver situation and the trading thing, the trades is that, it's making it tougher for a team that struggled, and they struggled because they didn't have great guys, and maybe they're great guys they don't love, and they're like, well, I gotta, it's like I have to mortgage, my picks to get some keeper that I believe in, and then maybe I'm not gonna have the greatest draft, but I'll have good keepers with value. And then the guy who won the league's like, oh, I got 4 guys I can just trade for more picks. You know what I mean? As well as my keepers that I want. And that's a tough. I mean, I think that there's going to be more of we have to look at it more. And you look at last year, yourself, Levine and DeBow both made trades you traded away guys for early picks and it didn't bode well. You know what I mean? You didn't end up scoring. And we'll see what happens with Jamie this year. You know what I mean? Jamie obviously had the best offseason. He got the most he got the most picks. You know what I mean? And, had really cemented himself. But we'll see how he finishes up. You know what I mean? And we have to look at that. If that's a trend that starts happening where the guy who wins the league, trades for earlier picks and then does a crazy thing in the draft and is consistently and we're seeing that happen all the time, that might be something we have to look at. You know what I mean? Because you want there to be parity. You want to feel you do want to feel hey, it's a new season. I finished last place last year, but let's not, I'm not in the hole.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's valid points by both of you. It sounds like we just got to maybe analyze this a little bit more. Gentlemen, I think we're close to a fucking hour. This might take a while to upload and shit, but this was easy, man. This was fun. We're gonna fucking do this again. I don't know. I probably got to cut it off, or this file might get too big for YouTube. I don't know.
All right.
All right, you guys.
Boys.
Well, I appreciate the time. Peace.
Good luck this weekend.
Good luck to everyone besides Taylor. Sorry.
No doubt. All right. Peace out, fellas.